He has a striped shirt on. What the How not to handle rejection.
Rejection never feels good. It always hurts. And rejection comes in many different shapes and sizes, many different forms of rejection. Maybe you're like me, 5'6", playing a pickup basketball game, driving down an open lane, about to get this easy layup only for it to be swatted last second by a 6'6" freak athlete.
Dude.
There's nothing you can do about it. It's embarrassing, but it happens. Or maybe you're finally shooting your shot with this romantic interest you've had for a while, only to find out they're not interested and they turn you down. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I won't pull the punches here. It sucks. It feels like
Say you
shit.
swear to,
But
Bro, I said, say you swear to God!
learning how to handle rejection is a necessary part of life. So back to my basketball example. What do I do when my shot gets blocked? Well, I get tears in my eyes and come up with as many excuses as possible, and I try and call a foul if possible, so that way we can run that back. So it's not my fault. It's they played dirty. And what happens when you get rejected by a romantic interest? You move on.
Yeah.
At least that's the healthy way of doing it. Let me show you two unhealthy ways of handling rejection.
Oh, no.
This girl and this guy were communicating under the impression that maybe this leads to a long-term relationship. That's the context going into these text messages, and it starts, I love it. Oh, baby, I'll service you in your car from now on.
Yo.
Straight up Brazzers storyline type
Bro,
shit.
freaky
And
ass
she
shit.
responds, ha 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 ha. Let's go on a date before I get serviced. I'll be there Saturday long. I'm actually staying the night there too. And then there's a lot of like redacted information here, like a CIA document, so I don't exactly know what was being said in between these, but she says, where do you live? Oh, okay, got it. So far things seem to be going well enough. They're making plans. She says, do you have plans for when you're here? And he says, hopefully just you, but no plans other than that. Just needed a breather from my son. I'm going to book a hotel room tonight when my check hits. Which is starting to give off a bit of a weird vibe there. She says, oh, how old is your son? 13. And then he says, maybe you could stay the night. She responds, I don't do that the first night.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
freaky.
And he goes, I don't mean all night, lol. And she's as confused as everyone else would be. So she says, ha 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 ha. What? You said stay the night. I meant like room after dinner. Maybe cuddle up. I'm a huge fan of cuddles and the best in the world at giving full body massages. I highly doubt that. I'm gonna need some citation for that. Like, I don't believe you.
Clap them cheeks too. What?
That's not what I usually do after first dates. I just don't
Like a Sunday lunch buffet?
think we're on the same page with dating. That's totally okay, just not a match. So she's taking this in stride, she's like, hey, is what it is. And then he keeps going. Exceptions could be made. What? Lol, what do you mean? I mean dinner, hang out, and eat between your legs like a Sunday lunch buffet after dinner. Lol. Clap them cheeks too. So she's very gently saying no to this guy. And
Looking down at
this
him, bro.
is the approach that a lot of dudes take with the car salesman type shit. Don't take no for an answer. So he continues to just keep pushing like, no. What if I, the world's best full body masseuse, give you a happy ending where I eat your like corn on the cob. I'll chew on your till it bleeds and I bust.
Yo.
How about then? How about that? How does that sound? I'll even clap your cheeks too, as a little added bonus on top of my service. So, when are you coming over? Are you out the door yet? Unsurprisingly, this last-ditch effort didn't work, she says, so you don't know how to listen, cool. Don't make exceptions for men who don't respect my boundaries. Fair enough. She said no, and he continued to be weird about it. It's a really f***ed mentality to not accept a no and keep pushing. It's just creepy behavior that's never going to amount to anything positive ever. When someone declines something or tells you no to something, you should really accept that, respect that, and just move on. It's not like
bro,
you're gonna change their
That's being a weirdo, dude. You can't take no for an answer. That just shows so much to a female.
mind by
Weird.
being an annoying pest about it. Like, oh wait, what rejection? Wait a minute, you're not thinking this through.
You're not rejecting
What
me, are
if
you?
I
Like, that's
clapped
loser.
your cheeks? You failed to think about that, didn't you? Yeah. So if I clapped your cheeks, now I assume you won't be rejecting me? What do you mean you're calling the police? This one's a masterclass on how to respond to rejection like an unhinged lunatic, so this one's getting extremely angry when getting told no. I don't know what the conversation is here. These two had met on like a dating app and they were talking, He says Mario, so perhaps the question was, who was Luigi trying to save in Luigi's Mansion? I don't know, maybe they were playing a trivia game. She says, okay. She doesn't seem super enthusiastic about that response, so maybe she's not a fan of the Super Mario Brothers. Who knows?
Gotta get
But anyway,
you some
he says,
lingerie.
how was the mall? Get anything good? She says, no.
Oh, if it's spelled Lingiri, why do we say lingerie?
I didn't
Shit don't
look.
even
I
make
was just
sense.
returning something, and then she sends a picture of herself in an outfit.
Type
And he
shit.
goes, oh, that looks really good. Gotta get you some lingerie. Admittedly, I don't exactly know what happened in between the last text we just saw with him flirting and then these. He goes nuclear here. He goes full fucking scorched earth out of nowhere. So I'm thinking that there's some
You
text
dirty, fat, sloppy, broke piece of shit.
messages that were exchanged in between these two, so we're just missing an entire chapter of this anime arc that he goes on to reach the villain status. So she says, I don't want to drive to blank for blank, I don't have enough gas. And according to the context she provided, they had apparently had a date scheduled, but she had to cancel last minute because of something school related, and now she was texting him back just to talk today. And there must have been something in between him saying, we gotta get you some lingerie and this. I just don't know what it could be. Maybe he invited her, like, to another place, and she just said, no, I don't have gas for that. But anyway, he responds, oh, alright, that's cool then. Didn't know all that, lol. You said you had some school stuff the other day. Now is gas, lol. You dirty, fat, sloppy, broke piece of shit. You got no gas, but got gas to go to the mall window shopping, lol. Thanks for making my morning, lol. And she just responds, lol. He just desperately tried to spam as much hurtful shit as he could think of quickly, like in a League of Legends game when you get mad that your bottom lane's feeding or something. How else are you gonna respond besides just laughing at this pathetic tantrum? So she hits him with a lol, which only sets him off even further, so he sends her picture back to her in order to keep insulting her. Yeah, this shit is funny, lol. Fat ass you pushing what, almost 190, 200? I almost find it fascinating how anytime one of these weirdos gets their feelings hurt, they always resort to just like, well, you're fat anyway. You're fat. Like, it always comes down to that.
No,
The second that they get rejected or told no or something's not going swimmingly in their eyes, less than satisfactory, they always default to fatty, that kind of shit, and then just go on this, like...
Let me see something. I thought you dropped some more shit.
long-winded rant about, like, actually, I'm the nicest guy the world's ever known, and I was doing you a favor by showing interest. You're fat at the end of the day. That's the big... I didn't want you anyway. I'm not crying, you're crying. This one's just a little bonus, a cherry on top of the rejection cake. It's not exactly rejection per se, it's kind of adjacent. So this is somebody's ex who just texted her out of the blue. He says, you dead yet? That 4:22 a.m. crack pipe's hitting a little different today, so he gets bold and brash and says, you dead yet to her. And he doesn't get a response right away, so then tries to get a little more and then says, I'm going to fuck on top of your grave and smear dog shit on your tombstone. And this does get a response from her. She just says, get a hold of yourself. That line from her made me giggle so hard I had to throw this in here. You have this unhinged weirdo texting at 4:20 a.m. asking if you're dead and then saying that he's gonna smear dog shit on your grave while having sex on top of it.
Bro, like what?
There's so many logical inconsistencies with that. A, who's going to agree to have sex at a cemetery on top of a gravestone? That's just guaranteed
Freaky
to get some
ass
like
shit,
demons and spirits haunting you for life. And B,
For all eternity,
why would
bro.
you bring dog with you to have sex? Even if you found a willing participant here, I feel like if you brought a bag of dog poop with you, that's immediately going to ruin the mood and you probably won't be having sex. Like, this just doesn't make any sense. This guy's spitting a bunch of nonsense here, a bunch of mumbo jumbo. And she just immediately calls him out on it, saying, just get a hold of yourself, you weirdo. It's so good. I just had to include that in here. Again, it's not exactly rejection per se. Like, it's not in line with the other two, but it's just something that I had to toss in. That's really about it. See ya.
And that is the end of that, bro.
Porn. I just made multiple videos.
Yeah. They make it rain. I make
make it storm. That's just the norm. Cause I'm way too cold, yeah. Staying in my dorm, yeah. About to go and get some sleep. About to go and get some, no, we just beat creep.